do anything like you've done in the past?
Do those for.
Sure.
We receive, we open, we take under consideration, may do a certain
Good. Do we need to come up here for first reading for the companions? Marine Patrol we have here.
Oh yeah, you don't got a 20, 30 minutes.
Good luck.
Why we need that?
So you don't need us up?
Just wait and say we like it. Just back to the house.
Good luck.
Gotta have fun.
You want us up here?
Thanks for your help.
He likes when the departments are we normally 79 during so
Yeah.
like we're not sitting here reading cold patch, picked up after picked up trout, just X dollars a ton. Hot patch picked up on our truck is X dollars. I see that. A whole bunch of people that are not there.
I almost asked. I think
No.
Careful what you
No,
wish
that's
for.
it.
You might get it.
I'll retrieve it at a later.
Yeah.
There's an old saying. When you get
Ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Ready?
Stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everybody, to the regular scheduled Porter County Board of Commissioners meeting of April 1st, 2025. We'll start with the consent agenda. Melanie?
Approval of payroll, March 14th and March 28th, 2025. Approval of claims, March 13th, March 20th, and March 27th, 2025. Approval of minutes, March 11th, 2025.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second. We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved. We have a citizen's appointment to the newly created Ambulance Services Committee.
I'd like to appoint Debbie Gunn.
Second.
We have a motion as well as a second for appointment of Debbie Gunn, Director of our E911 dispatching system. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved. We have an ordinance establishing a non-reverting fund 1120 or 1120 for insurance proceeds to restore buildings.
I move that we approve on second reading.
Second.
We have a motion as well as we have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved. I'm going to stop right here, and I apologize to Mr. Polaric. Is the highway superintendent? I'm going to move him up front here and open to deal with these bids, so we can get a recommendation for the end of the meeting, hopefully.
Thank you.
Here. Proceed.
The auditor's office received 6 bids.
One bid package is for central paving.
There's going to be a bunch of different numbers on them.
Big Mat Products of Indiana submitted a bid for the products. Asphalt Materials Inc.
Pavement Solutions. Continue on. Pavement Solutions Inc. Pavement Solutions Inc. Milestone Contractors LP. Reith Riley Construction Company Inc. For all the bids. You'll take these under advisement and come back to us for the.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We have an ordinance establishing a non-reverting fund 9128 for the Green Control Assistance Program, first reading. In this process, the Board of Commissioners must close the Commissioners meeting and open up to a public meeting. And then we'll close the public meeting, open back up to the Commissioners. I just love doing this. And we'll ask if there's any support or any demonstration against it. So if you want to very quickly explain to the board what this fund is for.
Good morning. This is a grant from DNR to the Sheriff's Department to cover overtime for patrol out on Lake Michigan.
Out on Lake Michigan.
Yep.
Okay. That does not include, we don't patrol any lakes, interior lakes.
No, we don't.
All right, I will close the County Board of Commissioners meeting and open it up to a public meeting. I will ask, I have to ask by law 3 times if those who would like to speak in favor of the ordinance and 3 times those who'd like to speak against the ordinance. So I'll start with those who would like to speak against the ordinance. Please come forward. Second request, those who would like to speak against this ordinance to please come forward. Third and final request, those who would like to speak against this ordinance, please come forward. Seeing none, those who would like to speak in favor of this ordinance, please come forward. Those who would like to speak in favor of this ordinance, please come forward. This is like 30 seconds of our life we'll never get back. Third and final call. Anyone would like to come forward and speak in favor of this ordinance? Seeing none, I will close the public meeting, open back up to the Board of Commissioners meeting, and entertain the motion.
I move that we approve the ordinance establishing a non-reverting fund 9128 for the Marine Patrol Assistance Program Fund on first reading.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved. For the before the motion becomes ordinance, there is a second reading, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Skillman Projects, jail. Have anybody from Skillman? Oh, that's interesting. We have a Corellis Roofing Pay App number 7 in the amount of $187,894.75.
I move that we approve pay app number 7 with Corellis Roofing.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as well as a second. Say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Highway Department gearing up construction. Oh, there he is. With the highway project. Go ahead.
Yep, sorry, I was back of the
Oh.
room here.
That's all right.
So we had some pay applications that needed to be approved for the highway. Gary Construction PAB 4, Bloomfield Mechanical PAB 3, Circle R Mechanical PAB 7, and Circle R Electric PAB 3.
Scott, we have to take those individually, don't we?
None of the pay apps. We can take the pay apps on the highway 1 through 4.
I move that we approve the pay apps with Gary Construction in the amount of $320,900.50, and with Bloomfield Mechanical pay app number 3 in the amount of $9,489.07. Pay app number 7 was Circle R Mechanical in the amount of $22,939.65, and pay app number 3 was Circle R Electric in the amount of $28,203.65.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Health Department. Morning.
Good morning. So before you, you have a couple change orders with Bergen Construction. One was for the light in the closet. The other one is for the data drops that we did. Our recommendation is for those to be approved.
Can we do the two change orders together, or do those need to be separate?
Do the change separate.
Okay. I move that we approve change order number 8 to install closet light in the amount of $999.90 with Bergman Construction.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
I move that we approve construction change order number 11 with Bergman Construction in the amount of $5,299.47 for data drops.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
I move that we approve pay app number 8 in the amount of $142,511.93 with Bergman Construction.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those same sign. Motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in a bit.
Tourism. Christine Livingston. Everybody's here to see your 2 minutes.
It's going to be short, not very visual. So I'm Christine Livingston, President CEO of Indiana Dunes Tourism. I just have a few brief updates. I wanted to let everyone know that we are now in agreements with both the state and national park for our staff to sell state park passes as well as national park passes. So the idea here is that we can alleviate some of the congestion at the gate and provide better service for people coming to the visitor center. Also to let you know that our board has approved increasing the county park support. We support Memorial Opera House, Expo Center, Museum, and the county parks, and we have voted to increase the park's monthly amount from $2,970 to $3,176.67 per month. That will then equal what the rest of the venues get. So that was approved by our board. That takes our annual support for the venues to $152,480 and 16 cents for everyone per year collectively. Just a brief update on the Indigenous Cultural Trail. We've gotten some good press recently about the installation of our limestone turtles. We've been working with the National Park, Potawatomi, and Miami tribes to develop an Indigenous Cultural Trail for the past 10 years. This is really putting us on the map and creating a destination for people to visit, not only at the visitor center, but just to create an experience for them. We have bridges, crosswalks, fire pit, a new welcome sign. We've raised over $500,000 in donations, grants, and gifts toward this project, and this signage will be installed this spring. We're working on a new Porter County video. So Indiana Dunes Tourism has been creating videos for all the communities, towns, and cities throughout Porter County to promote not only tourism, but also economic development. So we have the tourism video for Porter County, but we don't have the economic development focused video for Porter County. So we're working on that. Probably be done later this summer. Stay tuned. And then we've been in the news, so I have some articles I want to share, and then some information about some of our campaigns. In light of the heavy agenda today, I'm going to spare you the details on that, and I'll just pass those out. And we also have an invitation for our April 17th annual event, which will be at the Visitor Center, included in the packets.
I'm sure if we have any questions, we'll reach out to you, but thank you for,
Okay.
Thank you, Christine.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
IT, Lee Childers. Morning.
Good morning. I was excited about new copy machines. I didn't know all of Porter County was as well.
What do you have for us?
The main copy machine for the print shop died, and so we needed to purchase a replacement.
Two,
and that way they're smaller ones, but that way if one breaks, we're not dead in the water. I can get one for the same cost. It's a bigger machine, but by buying two, if one fails, we're still in business.
So you have a request to purchase two Toshiba eStudio 9029A copy machines in the amount of $13,765.10, and for a total amount of $27,530.20.
Correct.
The copiers will be used in the IT department and will be paid for from the IT budget.
Correct.
I'd ask my fellow commissioners if it's okay for you to buy two instead of just one at this time. And if that one would break, you can go back to it. I just like to hear their feelings on it.
Can you just explain the ramifications of one being down and how long it takes before you can get one up, and what impact that has on the printing for the county?
These are slower, so by using two, if they're both working, they work in tandem. It's faster than just one. If one were to break, we're still in business. Service usually takes 2 days, 3 days at the most, but they're run constantly.
How much life did we get out of the one that just broke?
This one was 2017 or 16.
That's it?
Yeah, we've run almost 500,000 copies every.
I move that we approve the purchase of two Toshiba eStudio 9029A copy machines for a total amount of $27,530.20 with Adams Remco.
Second.
We have a motion as well as a second for approval. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Thank you. Facilities, Berglund Construction. You want to start there?
So this is a change order for the lighting in the conference room downstairs. The existing lighting was already paid for as part of the contract. We're going to use that lighting over at the victim assistance.
I thought we addressed this, Carl. No?
We didn't address it, but it was brought to your attention.
Okay.
So
I move that we approve change order number 9 with Berglund Construction for conference room lighting change in the amount of $6,071.62.
second.
We have a motion as well as a second for approval. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Next.
So Stoyer Septic Systems, this is a request to repair the mound system over at the Porter County Highway Department in Hebron. This is for $13,500. This has already been approved through our health department.
I move we approve the request with Stoyer Septic Systems in the amount of $13,500 for the Porter County Hebron Highway Department septic mound repair.
Second.
We have a motion as well as a second for approval. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
The third item is to paint the lower level hallway areas to make them consistent with the renovations that are down there. Right now we've got 13 different colors. We're going to kind of restrict that to what we're going with now.
And which budget is that coming out of?
That's coming out of the facilities department.
Okay.
And the recommendation is for Real Deal LLC.
I move that we approve the quote with Real Deal Painting for $6,600.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
The next item is for Videotech. This is for the installation and replacement of the access control panel at 155 Franklin. This is for the voters, election department voters equipment. This will be paid out of Fund 1120 that you just created on second reading today, out of the insurance, subject to the insurance company's final approval on that.
I move that we approve the contract with Videotech to provide and install the replacement access control panel for 155, 157 Franklin in the amount of $8,556 pending insurance approval.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
The next item is for the window restoration here at the admin building. These have been pretty bad for many, many years now. These will be on a regular schedule, being done twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall. And these will be paid out of facilities.
Yes.
Can you read the second one, Scott, so we can do those together?
Oh, okay. So the next item, well, actually, they're paid out of two funds. Does that matter, Scott?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I move that we approve the proposal to restore the exterior windows at the admin building in the amount of $7,495.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
The next item is for the exterior brick and ephes cleaning over at the Juvenile Detention Center.
I move that we approve the proposal to clean the exterior brick and exterior insulation at the Juvenile Detention Center in the amount of $9,366.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
Anything else?
That it? Spent a lot of money.
We did. Thank you, sir.
Highway Department, can overlook number one. We've already done that. Can you start with number two?
Unless you want to, we got the recommendation for you on number one if you just want to do that.
Oh, that was pretty quick.
Perfect, huh?
Want to address that right now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
The bids there were all over in regards to geographical locations and everything, so we just accepting all bids at the time. And then when it comes down to per project, we will use the lowest bidder for that location.
And that's going to be in the motion that we will use the lowest bidder.
Correct. We will use the lowest bidder for that item at that location.
Okay.
Can we do that without mentioning who bid on those contracts?
No, we're not. We have to mention who's going to win the bids.
I'm sorry.
You have a list of those that bid. We want to mention all their names.
Okay.
Correct.
Yep. No, that's all right. I know it. Asphalt Materials Inc., Bitmac Products Inc., Reith Riley Construction, Milestone Construction, Central Paving, and Pavement Solutions. That would be all of them.
What was the last one, Jim?
Pavement Solution.
Pavement Solutions.
I move that we approve the request to approve all bids, at which time we will use the lowest bidder depending on what is needed. The first one was with asphalt.
Asphalt, yeah.
Asphalt.
Plant mix asphalt.
Black mix asphalt. Bitmap, Reith Riley, Milestone, Central Paving, and Pavement Solutions.
Correct.
That's your motion.
Mm-hmm.
Second.
We have a motion for approval as read by Commissioner Rignitz. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
Okay, we'll let Martin handle number two here.
So yeah, we did have a successful bid for a CCMG grant application, and we're requesting permission to advertise for bidding. With the opening of bids being received at the April 22nd, 2025 Commissioners meeting. The scope would include asphalt milling, resurfacing, full depth reclamation, stormwater structure replacement, and pavement markings on various roadways throughout Porter County.
I move that we approve the request to advertise for bidding our annual CCMG paving contract.
Second. We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Number 3.
And for number 3, this was previously approved via unofficial detour reimbursement contract. There's just a slight revision to some of the language that was affected by the DEI orders. So they had to revise those discrimination clauses in there, and we're still in compliance. So it's a formality. It needs to be re-executed.
Have you had a chance to review that?
Yes.
I move that we approve the reimbursement contract for NDOT number 1703009 unofficial detour reimbursement.
Second. We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, sign. Motion approved.
Okay, 4, 5, 6, and 7 all have to do with the matching funds for the CCMG grant. So that's just the locations of where the funds are going to come from, and they'll be going into the CCMG matching grant fund.
Can we do these together? You can do 4 through 7 together.
Would you like the motion to include reading of all those 4?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
either him or you, if you would, please.
I move that we approve the request for additional appropriations for items 4 through 7 on our agenda. Fund 4921, Foundation Holding Account 6100, interfund transfer in the amount of $850,000. And then the additional appropriation fund 1112 lit account number 6100, interfund transfer in the amount of $650,000. Additional appropriation fund 112 lit account 6100, interfund transfer in the amount of $200,000, and the additional appropriation fund 1173 MBH account number 2362 by Tuminous in the amount of $200,000.
Second. We have a motion as well as a second for those cases read. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
Number 8, as everybody knows, the roads blew apart this year, so we need more money to buy cold patch.
And they're not done.
And we're not done. They're
I move
they're not done blowing apart.
I move that we approve the request for additional appropriation fund number 1176 MBH account 2362 by Tuminous in the amount of $50,000.
Second. We have a motion as well as a second for approval. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The bids will be at the highway department if anybody wants to review them, and then we'll turn them into the auditor's office in the next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Development Stormwater Management, Mike Jabo.
Martin Bobchek, I'm here on Mike Chapel's behalf. So this is design plans for Bremer Road over Arm 19 to Little Calumet River small structure replacement project. This was approved at the last meeting, and we need to replace the title sheet with signatures from the commissioners approving the documents.
It says this is a county-funded project.
Yeah, so this is 100% local funding.
Much.
So we're going out for bid, and we will find out when those bids are received at the April 22nd meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
So this is just swapping out the title sheet with approvals from the commissioners.
Thank you.
Do we have to approve anything here, Scott?
Well, we're approving the design plan.
Yes.
Okay. Then I move that we approve the design plan for the permit road over Arm 19 of the Little Calumet River small structure replacement project with HWC Engineering.
Second. We have a motion for approval as well as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Foco Muse, Mr. Pazer. How are you, sir?
All right, how are you? Good morning.
You got 30 seconds.
Perfect. Hey, that's fine. I'll cut it down. I had it to about half an hour this
I'm
morning.
getting hangry.
I'm just coming simply to request from the Board of Commissioners. You have a work by Richard Eade. It's a great drawing. It was done in 1993 as dedication for this building. It's in the lobby of the Commissioner's office, and I shared a great story that was in the local newspaper with Kathy. But I think because it's an original, it belongs with the museum's collection, and we could very easily create a print to have it represented here in the building since it was essentially commissioned for this building. But just a matter of safekeeping so that it doesn't disappear in time.
I know you take good care of the material that you have, or the historical material that you just made me feel really, really old because I remember.
I didn't want to point it out, but you were in one of the stories leading up to it.
I was 6 inches taller.
And we'll be coming to the next meeting to have you placed into the museum collection. Just forewarning.
You don't have to vote yet.
I take that back, actually.
I move that we approve that the Porter County Museum be given the 1993 drawing of the Porter County Courthouse done by artist Richard Ead.
Richard Ead, E-D.
E.D. with the stipulation that we get the best print possible.
Absolutely.
Are you going to frame it?
Yes. Okay. Archival glass.
Got to ask.
Second.
We have a motion as well as a second for approval. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
Thank you very much. And just as a note, it's a joy to be here. We're 189 years removed from the very first commissioner meeting that happened on April 12th of 1836. So I was just 11 days shy of being here on the anniversary. Yeah, April 12th. So if you want to take over, walk over by Will Park, that's where the first meeting was held in Mr. Ballard's home. Will Park, the park here in downtown Valparaiso.
Oh.
It was where the first structure was built, and they held that meeting and convened for the very first time on April 12th of 1836.
And you're going to that meeting too.
No, I wasn't.
Thank you very much.
You started? Northwest activists, Northwest Now, Deb McLeod, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You have a request to use the northeast and northwest corners of the courthouse April 5th from 11:45 a.m. until 15 p.m. to hold a rally to support marginalized groups collecting food for food pantries.
Yes.
Let me see if I get it. You want to use the northeast?
Well, we I have a really loud voice. I'm sorry. We've already gotten permission from the city, and John changed our application a little bit. Mayor Costas changed. He'll always be John. He changed our application a little bit, which kind of changes it here. Apparently, he had talked to Sheriff Ballin, and they would prefer we use the south side of the courthouse. So we've agreed to that. So that's where we would be. We started out thinking it was going to be 200 to 300. We may be at 500 to 700 at this point. People keep saying they're showing up. So we're here to ask to use the courthouse.
Let me ask you a question. How come you decided to use the courthouse and not out one of the school's parking lots?
Because every rally in 5051 is using the courthouse squares.
They're not.
Indianapolis.
They're not. And they're promoting dropping off foodstuffs?
No, they're all
No, that's
different things.
Yeah.
They're all promoting different things. We decided to use ours as a food drive for people in the community who, it's a bad time out there for a lot of people right now, especially given what just happened this week. My whole freezer is going to go down. So,
yeah, my only concern is the people stopping to unload their vehicles to get the food off.
We're not asking for that. We are supplying totes and things. All we're asking them to do is bring a bag full of it. There's no stopping to do that. You have to be parked in order to get out. And we'll make sure that everyone knows that.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, and most people are going to show up with like a car of food. They're just bringing like a grocery bag to come and attend.
And we've got totes that are ready for them to be put in. We've arranged for trucks to park.
We've got people sorting the stuff as they come in so we can take it straight from the courthouse where it needs to go.
We learned from our last rally, which was pure products, and we had stacks this high. And so
it took
we don't
five.
do that.
Yeah, it took 5 cars to haul it all over. So
Yeah.
we are planning in advance for this.
Well, I had an opportunity to speak to Sheriff Ballin because he is the one that expressed concerns about this, and he likes the idea of doing this one time just to see how it goes.
Okay.
Because it does require a lot of, his staff and both police staff
and
to be on site.
Absolutely. Valpo has been wonderful. They've given us all the officers we need. I don't know how much most of you know, but I have a protection order against someone who tries to show up wherever I'm at and bring his friends. And so they have been wonderful in keeping me safe, which in turn keeps the crowd safe. The sheriff sent 2 of his deputies last time to ensure that we all stayed safe.
Mm-hmm.
We worked in conjunction with Captain Hall and Chief McIntyre. Thank you. I was going to say McDonald, but he's captain too. We are doing our best. Jeff is actually a friend of mine, so I meant to talk to him today, but he's down in Indianapolis. So I will talk to him again to make sure that we're all square and all on the same wavelength. We don't want to cause any trouble. We don't want to cause any problems. We just want to hold a rally.
Yeah.
And get lots of food for the food pantries.
Yeah. I mean, the concerns of the commissioners is not that you would cause a problem.
Okay.
It's just the magnitude of what you're projecting the number of people to be out there.
Yeah, we didn't expect it to take off as it did.
And I'm just going to let you know, I
Yeah.
have a serious problem with that. That is not set up out there to take on hundreds of people that are going to be parking their cars or stopping their cars in traffic, grabbing their totes and filling their totes up and dropping them off to you. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I hope everything's.
I have held other rallies on the square with Northwest Indiana now that we've had 400 to 500 people, and we have not had a problem yet.
On a Saturday?
Knock on wood. Yes, actually on a Saturday. So
Yeah,
knock on wood.
the last one that we had was on a Saturday as well, and we had about 500 there, and it's pretty peaceful and calm.
All right. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the request from Northwest Activists / NWI Now to use the courthouse grounds on Saturday, April 5th from 11:45 to 2:15 p.m., which would be on the southeast and southwest corners.
Yes.
Second. We have a motion as well as a second for approval. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
Thank you very much.
We'll try to live up to your expectations.
They're not mine. It's common sense. We've come to the end of our agenda here. This portion of our meeting, we ask if there's, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Anybody would like to come before the Board of Commissioners to speak? Can I just get a raise of hands of who wants to speak to the Board of Commissioners? 1, 2, 3. Keep them up for me, please. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So not many. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to put a time constraint on you, but please respect that. There's, we've all been sitting here since 11 o'clock. So, or some of us even longer. So, since there's only 8 of you, I will not put a time limit on you, but please keep in mind that we've been here for a long time. So and I'm waiting for this little guy to get really angry, right? Yeah, that's okay. So, if we can have a speaker up here and a speaker up here, and then the next 2 speakers stand behind them so we can move this along. Who over here raised their hand? All right, come up here, ma'am, please, and sir. Go ahead, John.
Good morning, John Hunter, Union Township School Corporation, Valparaiso, Indiana. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. Before I speak on data centers, which is my main purpose of being here, I caught the end of the stormwater meeting, and I really want to express appreciation to the commissioners for what you're doing. The Hudson Ditch Project, that certainly affects, that drainage certainly will affect our school property as well as many of our homeowners' properties through
the center of Union Township. So thank you on behalf of all of us who are going to benefit from that project as well. So today I'm here to talk a little bit about our data centers. I know that this is early on in the process, as I understand it. I know it's not before you today, but I'm certainly here to express some concerns. As I have been researching and reading about these, I know in a lot of areas there are TIF districts that will have negative impacts to our tax base for our school corporation if approved. So that's one reason why I have concerns. I also have concerns about the environmental concerns that will be presented with the creation of data centers, whether it's the gases, whether it's water usage, whether it's energy uses. There's a lot of different pollution, noise pollution, etc., that I'm concerned about. I'm also concerned about property values and what is that going to mean for our homeowners in Union Township that support our schools. I noticed that as this is currently laid out and proposed, I've seen two different areas, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to take about a third or about 10 square miles of a 30 square mile Union Township and make that uninhabitable. So residentially, we're going to lose about 10% of that square miles in Union Township. That'll have significant impact on Union Township schools. Lastly, I just want to say that if I were proposing to this county board, any other county board, a proposal to build a new school next to an industrial area, all of you would look at me like I'm crazy and have lots of questions. Why in the world would I ask to do that? Out of respect, I'm asking you to do the same. Why would we put an industrial area immediately adjacent to a school? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, I'm going to read this. My name is Angela. I am a lifelong resident, a mother of three, and a licensed realtor and public administrator with extensive knowledge of planning, ethical development, and local governance. Today I'm here not representing a business or agency, but as a voice of the families in Union Township and Greater Porter County who are deeply concerned about the proposed Willow Creek Road extension and associated data center development. Our key concerns are these projects appear to be based on outdated land use and incomplete environmental data. The proximity to three schools without public health impact assessments is unacceptable. There has been no transparent public outreach or meaningful evening forum held. Financial and political ties between commissioners and developers raise serious ethical questions. Indiana law requires open, fair, and current planning. We are not asking for anything radical. We are asking for the protection of our children, our property rights, and our health. I formally request a pause on all related zoning changes and infrastructure work until the following are completed. We want an independent environmental and physical impact study, a community oversight board with Union Township representation, a full disclosure of all campaign and developer contributions. Please do not proceed without the people of this county, because we are watching, we are informed, and we deserve better. I have lived at that exact location where this proposed data center is to be built my entire life. My mother still owns that property. I own with my husband a home in Wheeler, and I lived in Union Township my entire life. I am Union Township. I am a resident. I am a business owner, and I want answers, and I want to be heard. I have children, and I am busy raising them, and they are creating their own mess that I also have to go clean up. So I'm expecting you guys to do your jobs and do it fairly for all of us in this building. Thank you.
Hold on, just to,
You're fine.
is it anybody else want to speak on this side? Wasn't there we should have somebody at the mic. And if you would, if there's anybody else, sir, in the back there, you stand behind this lady here in the red. Is there anybody else that on this side that had raised their hand that would like to speak? All right. Yes, ma'am. Stand behind that gentleman there. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm David Bola. I'm a resident of Union Township. We are not against progress. I believe the perceived economic benefit as proposed by BlackRock will not override the negative impact on the quality of life for Union consumption, wastewater, energy consumption, the pollution, the noise in the water. Um, I believe that if this is such a vital project, that this should be put into a designated industrial area, not next to our homes and our schools. I'm asking the commission be accountable to our constituents, and let's take care of Union Township. Thank you.
My name is Kevin Ryrie. I've been a lifelong resident of Porter County, living in Union Township now. First, I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to hear our concerns and speaking with each of us. And we're not a group of people that's opposed to any progress or opposed to data centers in general. But I think we want to see these built in areas where it's appropriate. And it's hard to imagine a more inappropriate area than directing us to one of our Union Township schools and not far from Porter's College. Porter County has been a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. And I think we've seen a commitment from your board and other county boards to keeping this residentially focused where people want to move to. And I think that building a data center like this certainly locks out a lot of residential development and perhaps scares off residents who are already here from continuing to raise a family. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for allowing the time to speak. I'm here to convey to the body here and the Commissioners something of great importance to me, and I'm very passionate about this. I retired from the Postal Service in 2003. I was president of a branch that covered 4 major cities. We have now merged and represent most of Northwest Indiana. This year we celebrate 250 years of the Post Office. In 1775, Congress then at that time, before we were even a country, the framers of the Constitution created the Postal Service, the Post Office Department. In Article 1, Section 8, it says only the legislature has the authority to establish post roads and post offices. If you started in 1970 at the post office, it took you 21 years to reach top pay, which was $4 an hour. In 1970, we went on strike. It was illegal. It was a wildcat. And the reason we did it was because conditions at that time were so terrible when we talked about wages and benefits that letter carriers, many of them had 25 and 30 years in the post office already, that were veterans having come back from the Second World War, Korea, and Vietnam, could apply and receive welfare. Try to put that in your mind, that you're working for the strongest, richest country in the world, and you can get welfare from the federal government. That strike lasted 7 days. 25,000 soldiers came into the New York City post office and tried to deliver the mail. Impossible. On the 8th day, President Nixon called the union in, our national president, what's it going to take to get the carriers back to work? 2 things. Number 1, we want a contract for the first time in 175 years. Number 2, no recrimination against any rank and file member who took part in the strike or any union officer. Done. They formed a panel, and by September of that year, we had our first contract ever. So we went from that time from the Post Office Department to the United States Postal Service. And we are self-funded. We get no tax dollars, period. There are 285,000 active letter carriers now, and there are 3 different categories. The first is a CCA, a city carrier assistant. They come in $19 an hour with no benefits. Second category is a part-time flexible, who is part of the regular workforce. And the third are the regular employees who have 6 years or more service. If Gasoline goes up 1 penny. It costs the Postal Service $1 million. And you see gasoline spiking now because of what they say, like the summer blend. And a few years ago, it was hovering at $5 a gallon. We are mandating, meaning the post office, to deliver to every home, every business in the United States of America, including 167 million delivery points. Also, 16 territories that we represent and control. We are considered essential employers, and during the COVID crisis that affected this country, thousands of carriers contracted the coronavirus. We could not and did not leave our jobs. We were considered essential because I want to remind the people, the general public, about what happened several years ago when we had the anthrax letter bombs in the mail. Rural carriers areas like will be affected the most because of medicine and service. Now carriers are being robbed, assaulted, beaten, and murdered on the street for the arrow keys that open up these blue mailboxes. We deliver in Wyoming, Nebraska, Dakotas, and UPS uses us as the last mile of delivery because it's not profitable for them. It's a universal service for everyone. We deliver to the Grand Canyon by mule team to this day. The Carolinas and Georgia and the Barrier Islands in Alaska by snowmobile. Last year we collected 73 million pounds of food, the largest one-day food drive in the country. 25% of postal employees are veterans. What can we do? Contact our senators, Jim Banks and Todd Young. Buy a book of stamps because now the Trump administration is proposing to sell off the parcel business and sell it to UPS and FedEx. So share this information. Thank you for the additional time.
I kept waiting to hear about data centers. I thought I was having a stroke.
Sir, excuse me, what is your name? What is your name, hon? They want your name.
My name is John Valparaiso.
Thank you, John. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Jean Hardesty, and I'll get back to the data centers for you. Okay, Jean Hardesty, I am a resident of Union Township. I recently was at the Plan Commission meeting where they were discussing about putting a, sorry?
Pull it down. Yeah, there you go.
Thanks. All right, about putting a development as far as a subdivision in between two current subdivisions. Listening to that, what I heard was a lot of parents speaking about child safety. Havlin School is right there. They walk to school. Repeatedly, that's what you heard about child safety. Well, I want to reiterate what our superintendent said, Mr. Hunter, about our students' health and safety. We have approximately 1,100 students in our corporation. What I'm hearing is we heard in the other meeting, we heard one parent say, well, if this goes through, I'm moving. Another person said to me, I don't want my child going there. What happens to our school corporation if we continue to lose attendance? You know, I'm hearing, TIFs, I'm hearing benefit schools, but I don't know if there's any monetary amount that will fix that. So I'm talking about children's safety. I'm a retired teacher, 40 years with the corporation. I still have concerns about child safety. It seemed at that meeting that the board was attentive, showed that they cared, and I hope that that carries forward to the people that are on this board. Another thing that I want to real quick say is it's not only child safety, but it's also our safety. As far as the residents of Union Township, even in the surrounding areas. You know, this is not going to be a 9 to 5. This is going to be 24/7, 365 days a year. For how many years? You know, my husband's a farmer. puts the things in, the equipment, planting, harvesting, puts it in the barn. I give him a beer. I have a glass of wine. We sit on our deck. Well, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to do that, or we're going to want to do that if there's the noise that you're hearing. And just kind of the overall concerns. Looking at everybody here, I'm sure most of you, some of you, have children, adult children. I'm sure some of you, most of you here, have grandchildren. Do you not have any concerns if your adult child in their family is living in Wheeler? Do you not have any concerns, or would you have any concerns about your grandchildren going to Union Township schools? And you yourselves, would you, if you lived in Wheeler, would you not have concerns and fears about this data center coming in? And basically what I'm seeing is a scale. We got dollar bills, and we've got child safety, and we've got the health and well-being of our residents who are your constituents, who we elected you to represent us, and hopefully to protect us. So I am asking you to use diligence and compassion to say no to this project. Thank you.
My name is Sandy Hill. I actually live on 650 where this project is projected. It surrounds my home and my neighbor's home. This whole project disgusts me. I've lived there for 38 years, and never in a million years would I think we've come to this. We have children. My grandchildren are going to the Wheeler school system, and I have to worry about this. I have gotten backlash on Facebook because I'm trying to get awareness out. Well, I know what this is about. I have a friend in North Dakota that is fighting this. He has this in his backyard. He says it's 24/7 noise. He said you could turn the TV up as loud as you want. You're still going to hear it. They put up the barriers. It made it worse. It didn't help it. This project is not going to bring money. It's going to hurt us. Our children is everything to us. If our board doesn't see family as number one, I see it. I can't even describe how I feel. It upsets me. I've said in the other meeting, if you've seen the movie with Aaron Brockovich, they brought in those big electrical towers. The small town didn't know what they were getting into. Children were getting sick. People were getting cancer. Do we want to take that chance of this possibly happening? Because people are saying we don't have enough data. Why would we bring that here, not having enough data? I think we need more information on this. There are places for this. Look down I-65. There is tons of farmland down there. Why does it have to be here? It doesn't. So please take the time and consideration and think of our families and our children. Thank you.
Hey, my name's Pete Gadenas. I'm probably the only person in this room that's actually working at the data center right now. I don't have to come here. I invite you guys to drive down Route 2, take a look at what they're doing. It is a disaster. It glows at night. I don't want that in my backyard. I'm sure no one else wants it. That, and plus you got people coming from all over the country. We got truck drivers from Jersey. We got Ukrainians. We got everybody rolling in the door out there. That thing's gonna be right next to our school. I've asked the truck drivers, 120 foot long, they're pulling in these 35,000 pound generators. How do you get around these corners when you're having problems? We're not even set up for nothing remotely like this out there in the middle of a cornfield. Plus, you got to cross 2 sets of tracks. Has anybody thought of that? The power lines that got to come in, where are they going to get the water? A sump cooler, which runs part of the data center, I'll probably get fired in terms of that. It's got 2-inch suctions and it just pulls out of the ground. We don't have that kind of water by us for that. There's 100 of them each building. We just put up 4 buildings. There's another 2 buildings on order there. The whole south side of 2's getting buildings. There's not enough here. You're just not going to be able to accomplish. You're building the same site. Drive out there. You're building the same site we got up there right now. It's the same identical site. It's massive. I don't think anybody in here understands what you're looking at. A giant brown building with lights all around it. Just look at it. You gotta wonder what they're putting in this thing with 2 layers of fence and constitute layer. What's going on in there that they need all that security? There's not all these jobs. I hear these people, these jobs. There's not a bunch of jobs. They come in from everywhere. They put their data, they buy their section of data, they put it in and they're gone. You're going to bring in some security guard jobs. Whoopee. That's not bringing a damn thing to the company. It's not manufacturing. It's not going to be a couple hundred people in there working. You're not bringing much to it. They built theirs next to a stone. I don't have this stone in my backyard. I got a cornfield. It's next to their powerhouse over there. That's an industrial area. You're talking built right next to our schools. I just think it's wrong. I agree with you on the road. I didn't want the road. Remember we talked about the Willow Creek extension. It's something, yeah, we know we're going to get it. That's fine. But all of a sudden, now this thing pops up. Where did this come from? I don't understand. Chesterton's told them no. Maryland's told them no, right? And now Valpo's told them no. Why would something Wheeler have to happen? What are they doing with Baileytown? It's just sitting there idle. About Dean Mitchell. About all the coal plants over at the U.S. Steel. All that mill property. You could put this over and no one in the area would care. But you got to, for some reason, you got to pick certain areas. Why? And why does it always seem to be like where it's a well? They got to put a well. What's with that? And nobody can answer that question. And then what are you going to do with the water when you're done with it? Shoot it to your computer and then pump it back in the ground so I can have it? I don't think that's fair. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Phil Thorman, and my wife Jen and I have lived here now for 4 years. We're in the Wheeler School District, and she can't be here today, but she wanted me to come over to, give some thoughts from her and for myself. And my wife works with AWS, so she's been in many data centers through, all over the country. And she said, I would have said this. She said to me to make sure I said this today was that they're extremely loud. She's been in there, walked around, and they are very, very loud. Much louder than you even understand. And also on top of that, the data centers have other sound levels that the human ear can't hear, but really causes problems for people. So when you're nearby and you're hearing these waves, it can cause all sorts of different problems. You can read about it, and there's a lot. You can go down a rabbit hole and that whole thing. So she just really wanted to make sure that she would let you know, like, she's not for this. I'm not for this. We do not want this near the school in our district. And also, on top of it, I'm in total agreement. We should be looking at doing something north, up near the mills. That land up there, probably nothing can be put on it. So why not put a data center on it? It makes total sense. No environmental study ever gets passed. Put it there. They say you need infrastructure. They say you need water. There's a lot of water up there. So it doesn't make sense to put it down in our area. We understand we want taxes. We're not against moving forward. We talked about there's a lot of land way further south, but again, they want it near certain things. It's costly to put, electric, I guess, down there. So we've heard some different reasons to why they do that. But I just bring it back to we're totally for moving forward, but it has to be in an appropriate way that cares for all of us. Thank you so much.
My name is Kayla Solik. I live within 3 miles of where the proposed data center is. Everybody here has already said basically what I wanted to say, but I also wanted to say that I'm against it as well. For the obvious reasons. I mean, there's so many football fields and baseball fields and outdoor sports activities happening at schools within 3 miles of this very, very loud center. You can go online and look up videos and see how loud the center is. Like, could you imagine if this were proposed next to Valpo High School football field and if everybody had to sit there and watch sporting events with this noise going on? Would that go over very well? No. I mean, we're in Indiana. There's a plethora of other wide open spaces to put this. The proximity to a school just does not make sense. Schools also have things that help kids with disabilities or special needs students that go there for hours during the day. I mean, the noise that this could put off, the light pollution. I mean, the proximity to a school just does not make any sense. Jim, I worked right alongside you and your son in Bacon Pharmacy for many years. I've seen firsthand how much you care about the community. You've always earned my vote for that reason. I know what kind of guy you are. I just hope that you take that into consideration when you are considering voting for the location of this data center.
My name is Charles Reagan. I live on 600 North, just east of Wheeler Landfill. I moved there in 1975. I went through the fiasco of getting waste management out of Union Township, or the whole township would have been a dump. I belong to PAL's organization. Most people don't know that. People Against Hazardous Landfills. I consider this industrial park zone that you're trying to do, and the extension of Willow Creek, trying to bring that kind of business into our community. Our schools are fine. My children are fine. I don't care. But it does depreciate your evaluation of your home. And in the 70s and 80s, we had a mandate done through Porter County that eliminated 10% of our property tax in Atherton just because of a landfill that they closed. But it's always there. And for you people to appreciate what we try to do as a community, you have to understand that business doesn't care, especially NIPSCO, NISORS, Public Service, whoever you want to call it. They were responsible for the dumping of mines. They were responsible for the dumping at Wheeler. And they closed, like the man said, they closed all the generating facilities here. Why do we want to bring in? Next will be the solar farms and this and that. I don't want to mention it. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I was addressed by Waste Management and the company, foreign operating most of the time. When I addressed the man as a regional director of Waste Management out of Chicago at a meeting in the old chambers over there, the man told me, I don't have to worry about this because I can afford to live wherever I want. I don't want that to be told to me or my neighbors ever again. That's wrong. You know it's wrong, and this board needs to appreciate that. And I have one more statement that I'm going to lie. Whenever you put a zoning sign in an area, and there's about 2 or 3 in that area, little bitty signs like this, like I put up for yard sale, that's wrong. You need to put a visible sign from the road that your plans for changing the zoning in this area can be read when you go by your car. It's all a fine line. This county, and I've been watching them bring stuff through this council and everything behind the scenes, the back door. I've seen it. I also work for Bethlehem Steel, and this commission said we can't give them tax breaks. They only employ 10,000 people. This is wrong. Get some jobs in your community that are safe, light manufacturing, whatever you got to do. I don't want anything else like this in my community. I've watched it. I've watched it. I've watched it. It done me no good tax-wise. The school's been built out of our pockets, not out of this company. And I do not understand tax abatements. What would be a tax abatement for this place? Why?
You're asking the wrong board. We don't approve tax.
Oh, wonderful. But you're part of it.
No, we're not. We're not, sir. We're not part of it. Any tax abatement. Let me make one thing clear: the Porter County Board of Commissioners or the Porter County Planning Commission did not advertise for a data center to come knocking at our door.
I know that.
We are not building that data center.
I know.
We have not rezoned a square inch of that property out there. Okay. There's different zonings portions of it. It's not going to be. We are not requesting that to be rezoned. Is my point. We're not the bad guy here. What we're doing is managing your government. They have come into the county and asked to be heard. By state law, we must hear the case.
I understand.
To step out of that and deny them that is breaking the law. I'm not going to do that.
What about the law?
We are here to represent you.
Okay.
Okay? Well, I look. Of course, I've been. Yeah. It's as frustrating for us as it is to you, because we have to. We're hearing all this. This board will eventually be the board that decides the fate of this request. We get that. What we ask the residents to do is please allow us to do our jobs.
I will do that.
You do not want a county commissioner who's going to stand up here and tell all of you folks, I'm against this, and not let the process take place. The process is very important to you if you haven't realized it, because it could be you up in front of us. You do not want to give a county commissioner that much authority and power to step out of the process and say, you know what, we're going to pick the winners and losers here. To hell with the process. You don't want that, folks. You do not want that. And I'm just going to speak for myself. You all have elected me 7 times to public office. You've trusted me so far. And evidently I haven't broken that trust. Trust me here. We will get to the right thing here eventually. Okay? I'm sorry.
Hello, my name is Marissa Barnes. I am a Union Township resident and a business owner as well. And I wanted to thank Barb for saying that she would vote no. At this point, I just don't understand why you two cannot give us that reassurance so you can run your meetings like normal and you can do business like normal and move on. Jim Biggs, you told us at the other meeting that there are tons of people in recliners at home that want this project. So I went out and I got a little petition together, and 1,500 people have signed it in one day saying that they do not want it. Also, I have heard that you may not take those signatures, but they are verified with their addresses. 71% of those people are from zip codes 46385 and 46383, which I can also present the data on. I would also like to ask if the city and the county are not bringing these data center projects to us, then what is MCR Consulting doing? What is MJ Thomas and Associates doing with their TIF writing and their grant writing? And they're hired by us and they're paid for by taxpayers. But then if you look up MCR, they also do site selection for data centers. I don't know. I use the AI robots against them on that, and ran some deep research reports to figure that out. I also would ask, is SEH engineering involved in this? When will we hear disclosures on that?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But what's your point?
My point is, it seems like
Well,
you all.
listen, ladies and gentlemen, my employer is SEH Engineering. So if you want to take a swipe at me personally, at least give me a heads up. Okay?
How about we let her speak?
I'm not taking a swipe at you personally. You disclosed it in February of 2024, so it's public information. Sorry, I looked into the public information. That's all I got. Thanks.
Well, just for the record, ma'am, I will not step out and deny or approve this without the process taking place. That's what you pay us to do. That's what the law says that we must do. If you don't appreciate that, I'm not going to apologize for that.
We pay you to listen to.
Yeah, well, I get paid to follow the law. And we, hey, whoa, no, we're not going to do that. Do you want to come up here and say a few words? You come on up. Well, we're not going. No, you're doing more than listening. You're yelling. Let's stop that. Go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, she was next.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. My name is Melissa Reed. I live in Center Township. I was involved in speaking out against the Valpo Center for its bad choice of locations. I would like to also thank Mr. Edmonds for him to do things cautiously as opposed to excitedly. And I also thank Marisa for change.org. It was at 900 when I went to bed and woke up to more than 1200. So, city council lady in Valpo, her name is Barb, she got 50 phone calls, and of those 51 was for it, and 49 were against. Thank you. Those 49 people were enough for her to confidently say no. So, to me, 1,300 should have some weight as to the sentiment of the people that vote. I personally, and we're looking at finding an answer to this. I don't understand that it was perhaps legal to receive the application by the Plan Commission or by the Department of Planning. It clearly says that IM institutional zoning is only allowed light or light industrial. These are heavy industrial, not light industrial. Anywhere that zone them light industrial is completely rewritten. They're new in 2022. They've only been built since 2023 and 4. There are no peer-reviewed studies. QTS has a paid environmental company, Kimley Horn, and I would suggest that you not take that without a very close filter and find a study of your own. These don't belong anywhere near schools, hospitals, homes, farmlands on top of wetlands. They belong in heavy industrial areas only. We are very blessed to have something called geologic formation of the Lake Michigan watershed. And I know farmers have concerns about water. People that live there have concerns about water being diluted that they would draw from their own personal wells. But when you look at Lake Michigan, you see how much industrial is there and the water problems they have in places like Portage. They're continually fighting, trying to keep that nearshore water healthy enough to not do harm. And when you start taking out 10 million gallons a day from a wetlands that goes in directly into that, it may affect South Haven's water condition or amount of water, and give it 5 years. The filter down process to the lake is going to directly affect the Lake Michigan nearshore waters where Indiana American Water gets all of their water sources from. So then what happens? They have to pay, and everybody gets to pay for a place that's then like Chicago 10 miles out to get water sources from that are pure enough to not to be used. There's no financial upside if one child gets harmed from this, much less many, or teachers, or anything else. You know they're going to want abatements, and I don't know why you would ever give a free ride of any sort to a $140 billion company. Beyond that, it would create bond issues for water and sewer facilities, fire departments that don't exist. It would increase utility bills, would increase homeowners insurance with the risk of that, would increase the county's insurance with the risk of that. PUD zoning is very dangerous, and I don't think you can legally put PUD zoning in the middle of rural residential because any industrial is not allowed adjacent use. And you can explain it away as it's a PUD. But is it a residential PUD? Is it an industrial PUD? Is it a data park? I can take that back. A commercial park? Is it mixed use? No, it's an industrial PUD is what they want. It's not allowed adjacent use. I don't know why it should even be looked at. And I appreciate your confidence in saying I'm not going to go there. NiSource has to create their own new company just to figure out how to power it. There's a company named Hickory Grove Properties. They own 3 large tracts surrounding one little uphouse-sized parcel that NIPSCO owns, and that's on the very west side where Jeremiah 8 is planted. So if you think they don't have the intention of taking the entire area over, I think you're really missing something. There's a landowner named Bueller. He also has 102 acres in between to the east of Jeremiah 8. And if these companies even utters a word of, let's get rid of the one right by the school and do the one further west, because we can add on. We can add on. You're still going to end up with 1,200 acres of industrial use in the middle of the rural residential, which is not allowed adjacent use. So PUD, no PUD. I don't know why this conversation is happening because of that one technicality. I'm asking also, and perhaps the planner's office has already signed the application. Our copy that we got with the FOIA does not show a signature by any county person. That does not preclude you from enacting a pause on any new applications so that they can't come and say, well, hey, it's okay, people will not put it by the school, but we want it here a mile over. And now we're going to do an application here on Hickory Grove and here on your given property. I would like you to see the possibility of that scenario happening as a result of us remonstrating like this. So I'd like you to enact at least a 6-month pause, if not more, for any new data center applications in Porter County, to give yourself a break, to have time to really look at this Kimberly Horn study, to look at other areas, to tour other areas, and it may take a year or 2 years. There are no peer-reviewed studies. This is a new animal. So give yourself the time to make sure you're careful with everybody else's kids and the teachers and our groundwater and Indiana Americans' groundwater. I appreciate you emailed me back when I had asked, somebody was asking why the meeting wasn't being live streamed. I would like what you had offered, that you would pass a motion to require that they be on the county site within 48 hours and that a live stream is verified working. I didn't hear that brought forth today, but I would love to hear that at next month's meeting. So thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Amy Ketchum. I am also a Union Township resident, and I had a note in my phone to say a lot of things that my community members have already said, so I'm going to kind of skip around, so apologies ahead of time. But first, I just want to say I've grown up in Union Township. I've lived here my whole life. My parents were very heavily involved in the Union Township community when they were still living, and when my brother and I were going through the school district. My dad assisted in building some of that Wheeler athletic complex, such as the press boxes for baseball, the football, and the soccer fields. He's coached many of the middle school basketball teams, girls and boys, and was also the announcer for the high school football and basketball games before he passed. I grew up playing all sports, going to the games in those fields for my games and my brother's games, and this is where the proposed data center will be the backdrop for. I truly have the best memories growing up, and it's because of all of our community here today. I'm going to need someone to fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure there's only a few high school teams, athletic teams, that have won a state championship. 2 of them have come from Wheeler High School, the 2010 Wheeler boys basketball team that my brother was a point guard for, and then the 2010 Wheeler softball team as well. And this community prides itself on being able to offer the level of academics that we do with the teachers that we do, as well as the athletics component as well. The athletic facilities that we have at Wheeler are truly second to nowhere else in the county. I put up the big schools, Valpo, Chesterton, against our Wheeler community for those athletic facilities, and people are moving into our community to be a part of that. This data center, proposed data center, I should say, would hinder that as well. Something else I wanted to bring up, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say today, is to touch about just the health impacts. So April 15th, 1982, right about this time, does anybody know what happened on that day almost 43 years ago? Klein Avenue Bridge collapse. My family was directly impacted by this bridge collapse, as 3 of my immediate family members were working on the bridge that day. My grandpa was not on the part that collapsed. My uncle was killed instantly, and my dad ended up buried up to his neck in concrete with a piece of steel rebar going through his back. Hold on, I skipped a line. There we go. Sorry, just 1 second. Where did it go?
Take your time.
Okay, so my dad was buried up to his neck in concrete with a piece of steel rebar going through his back. He was on life support for 2 weeks following that crash, where doctors, nurses, everybody told our family he would never make it. Somehow, 2 weeks later, he got strong enough to get off the vent and made a full recovery with no big health issues until they came approximately 12 years later. My dad was diagnosed with kidney disease, and because it was so far after the accident and there were very few survivors, couldn't link it back to what happened that day. In 1997, my mom donated a kidney to him, and all was well. Fast forward almost 20 years later to 2015, and my dad was back on a more aggressive dialysis and needed another kidney because the healthy kidney my mom donated to him was now a shriveled up grape. October 28th, 2016, my brother donated the kidney to my dad. 6 weeks later, he passed away from an infection. But the reason why I tell that story is because the health impacts that happened from that day didn't come about until many, many years later. 15 months after my dad passed, my mom was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease at age 62. Now here's where it gets interesting. Everything you read about Alzheimer's is that it's hereditary. It's passed down, it's in the genes, yada, yada, yada. Any research I've done, at least. So no one in my family had Alzheimer's. My grandparents, her parents, lived until almost 90. My grandpa played rounds of golf at 85 years old, 18 holes. It was amazing. So how did my mom at 60 years old get Alzheimer's? We don't know. We will never know. Could it have been hereditary? No, because no one in my family had it. Could it have been environmental factors? Possibly. My mom worked at Inland Steel, then Middle, now ArcelorMittal for 40 plus years before she had to retire due to her diagnosis. Could it have been from all the fumes and pollution that she... Hold on, it messed up again. Could it have been from all the fumes and pollution that she experienced every day going to work for 40 plus years? We don't know. We'll never know. But what we're asking, I think, as part of this community is that you take that into consideration, because the health impacts we're not going to know for many, many years down the road. Today's my mom's birthday. She would have been 70 years old. Instead, she passed at 65 due to Alzheimer's. So we just ask that you consider these health impacts and everything else that our community has said before voting for or against all this. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Whitney Trimble. First, I wanted to say thank you for allowing public comment without a time restraint. I think that's noble. I just wanted to ask on behalf of many mothers and working families in the future that these meetings be held at a time, if possible, after work hours. That was. And the other note I wanted to add is, as much as wealth is incredibly important, I know that's what I'm in the business about, health and time seem to be more important. And if you don't have your health and you don't have the time, what is the wealth worth? And so as we think about the impact that could be taking place potentially, not only for the residents, but for our children, we need to take a look at that. So appreciate you all listening and going through the process. It is important. But I also think it's important to make sure that we're heard. And I think that a different time would allow for a lot more people to be a part of this as well. And then lastly, if I could just have a raise of hands if anyone here is in favor of the data center potential proposal. And there is no one. And those concerned, opposing, please raise their hand in the entire room. Thank you. Hi, my name is Wendy Regal, and I live in Chesterton. For all I know, you could be the three most honest politicians in Indiana. You could have all made up your minds already that you're not going to pass this proposal, or maybe it's just that you see the ridiculous specs of the PUD and realize it's going to take a whole lot of accountability that neither you nor the county code itself knows you do not have in order to swallow what they're asking. Or maybe you don't think that this near industrial takeover in Wheeler follows a comprehensive plan. So let's just say that that's where you're at. A no in the end, a whole period. Whether or not you felt you should say so publicly. Under those circumstances, you three are absolutely not the reason why we can't put our faith in you. You are not the reason we don't trust you. I'll say it again. You are not the reason we don't trust you. You are not the, I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you who it is. It's the secret and predatory business practices of the hyperscale data center industry and economic development teams, whether they work for the state, the county, the town, the city level. It's the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, whose members are appointed by the governor, who raise our rates anytime Mexico requests it, despite the fact that they pay their shareholders millions of dollars in profits last year. They want great grandma to pay more. And even if there were honest and reasonable people serving on the IURC, if they don't follow the governor's plan for economic development, they're going to lose that position. And they will also face the criticism and the shunning of the Northwest Indiana Forum and the Indiana Development Committee, who have literally said to local town council members, we brought this to you and you didn't take it. The IURC couldn't do the right thing individually, even if they wanted to. But you can. You've got local control, and I'm sure you weren't all that thrilled about the possibility of losing it with the bill that was proposed this year in the State House saying, hey, let's take away the local control and make it controlled by the state. That's horrifying, because what we need you for? When we fought this data center in Chesterton, we did not reach the stage where the landowners within 300 feet of the property were legally notified. I know this because I was one of them. But when we got the public records after the developer withdrew their application, it did have the names of about 63 immediately affected landowners. It was an awful feeling seeing our names on a piece of paper, knowing we really had no control over our own fate. We became physically ill because most of us have invested our lives in our homes that were going to have 40-foot setbacks from a skyscraper. My neighbors went to the doctors for heart palpitations, insomnia, anxiety attacks, and the dang data center with its subsonic rumble wasn't even approved or close to being built yet. We were and are already sick. And that is why I have continued to fight along every town in Porter County. Regarding the lack of widespread noise studies, whether we're talking about the kind you hear, or the kind you feel, or both, we've shared what evidence we have. You think this data center industry has not done their own studies? That somewhere, someone along the way, some engineering or consulting firm didn't think, hey, what if we do some of our own studies? But what if we even do our best to get third-party studies, impartial third-party studies? That would shut these people up if we had overwhelming evidence. And I want to say, if they had it, they would be shouting it from the rooftops.
and they should. So either they haven't done credible studies because themselves, or they have and can't share it because it's going to scare the heck out of even themselves. You three are our last line of defense. Sorry, I got a word. Ed Soliday, with his 2019 Pro Data Center bill, and all the other people I mentioned so far, have left you three to take the heat. Please understand that we cannot afford to trust you before this is over, and you make it clear through a county ordinance that hyperscalers are not welcome near homes, schools, and farms in Porter County. Please do the right thing, Porter County Commissioners. The road has already been paved for you by the Chesterton Town Council, the Burnt Harbor Town Council, and now the Valparaiso Town Council. They have the moral compass. They had the moral compass to listen to their fellow citizens and knew that this was not what was best for the constituents, despite the fact that other interested parties still gave them a hard time afterwards. Get the money that Porter County needs the old school way. Work for it in all kinds of creative, upright ways that you are certainly capable of since you got this far. Inspire the people again, and let us inspire you. Those are the kind of leaders we want. Those are the kind of leaders we want to vote for and work alongside. We're not expecting you to get everything right from the time you started to hear about these data centers or think about the data centers in Porter County. But we will respect the heck out of you if you continue to educate yourselves along with us just about data centers. And in the end, make that hard decision to protect the entire county near homes, farms, schools, and environment. Make the hard decision to protect the entire county from this awful, awful industry. Please start with Wheeler. Then you can be your own very reason for us to trust you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Wes Barnes. I'm a resident of Porter County in Union Township. I just want to say thank you all for being here today and hearing us out. And I think we all understand you have a difficult job to do. So thank you for your service and hearing everyone out. I think we've heard a lot from everyone today. There's been concerns about safety, health, our kids' schools, things like that. And I can imagine that as you play out the process, as you should by law, there's going to be a report or something generated by the other side that addresses all of those concerns. But I just wanted to share one perspective that I haven't heard here today, and that is, something I've learned as an infantry officer in the United States Marine Corps serving in Afghanistan is that perception is reality. And So while there might be a lot of data and reports to address these concerns that we have today, I just want you to take that into account that, again, perception is reality. And I just wanted you to take that into account as you hear out the process. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is David Hyman, resident of Union Township. It seems like this might be the fourth meeting where I didn't anticipate to speak, and here I am. I can tell, Mr. Biggs, that you have some growing frustration, right, with how the community is reacting to this proposal, or how different pertinent information is being brought up, whatever it may be. I did want to say that last week I spoke, and you made a comment, and I don't mean to point you out directly, but you made a comment that you've personally taken a stance against solar farms. Personally, that any solar farm manufacturer or developer could. There's no ordinance that says they can't be here. They could come, they could present, they could apply, and you've made a personal stance that says no solar farms. Barb has made a personal stance to what I've at least seen, that she is saying no to data centers. I'm not asking Jim Biggs, commissioner, to publicly say no data centers. I'm asking Jim Biggs, citizen, to take a personal stance on data centers. Now, I am not an expert on data centers or zoning or PUDs or a lot of the things that were mentioned today. I do know a little bit of thing about business. And a lot of times when you decide something in a business, you use a risk reward analysis. Well, usually the risk is investment. How much money are we willing to put into a project, and what is the reward that we're going to reap afterwards? In this particular instance, the risk isn't a monetary value. It is our community, it is our schools, and it is our children. Now, I can only see one benefit of a proposal like this, and it's money, tax, revenue. But the risks involved in a project like this far outweigh the reward. And I know, at least from what I've heard today, our community, our schools, and my children, they're not for sale. Thanks.
Allison Ruiz. I am 15 years old, and to go along with that, I am homeschooled. But just because I am one of those children that we should be defending and are defending by bringing up these claims against the data center, don't think that I am dumb or don't have anything to go with that. So I have an IBS, IBD. So I have Crohn's disease.
Right.
And so I have a lot of health things that go along with that. I'm on a medicine that I inject myself with every 2 weeks, and so it's very dangerous. There could be a lot of health things further along the road, and because of that, I've switched over to a diet. And so from this, I've learned that yes, there are ways to go forward, but just because we want to go forward, that doesn't mean that you have to damage yourself with that. And so I've heard a lot of great things today, but there's one thing that I haven't heard, and that's about our own environment and our survival. So, like Yellowstone, there were the gray wolves that have been going, that had a period of going to the brink of extinction, and they're coming back up. And over in Illinois, with the bald eagles, they were disappearing. And so, if we put one of these in our environment, I am personally afraid for the animals because of the noises and the vibrations and the pollution of what they will be feeling, that they will slowly disappear or die off, and then we won't have our amazing creatures in the air or our white-tailed deer or our fish in the river systems. And so I'm just like asking, you know what is right, and if you have that feeling of what is right, then you should follow it. And I know that there's a process, everything has a process. So if you go with what you feel is right and what comes with God, then whatever comes from it, it will be the right decision and it will lead us forward. Thank you. I'm Allison Ruiz.
Allison, I took a lot of guts at 15 to get in front of all.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Johnson. Excuse me. I'm a new person in Union Township for 5 years. My daughters have both moved out here because they got away from the city and were looking for a nice place, a safe place for their children to be raised. I only have a grandson that has special needs that should be attending the Union Township Elementary because that's what's best for him. So that's why they moved here. As for myself, I'll be within the radius of hearing this machine. And anyone here who owns a power washer, have you heard it lately?
Do you want to hear it 24/7? No, nobody does. But my concern is we're all human. We all have needs, and we all need to be okay. We don't need to have the stress from this. We don't need to have the worry of pollution or the sound or our water being contaminated. We're lucky that we live by Lake Michigan. We have a great resource. Do we want to lose that? No. In conclusion, my what I would like to ask is it be on record that I'm asking at the next commission meeting when this comes up that there not be a limit on the time that people can talk. I've watched many things on TV where they're given 1 minute and the clock goes off and the audience and people are sent away.
We haven't put a time limit on it.
Pardon me?
So we have not done that.
I appreciate it, and I'd like to be on record that next meeting there be no time limit because a lot of us know what we want to say, and yeah, it takes guts to get up here and say things in front of people you don't know, but it comes from our heart, and only God knows what will happen, and I'm praying that He has His hand in this and He will not allow the data center. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. Commissioner Julie Georgie, Union Township. Thank you all for listening to everyone. I'm just going to say something really quick. We don't want to wait 6 months or a year or longer to have this come back up in front of you. I think the process should be moved forward as quickly as possible. It sounds like the next step is a public meeting with the Plan Commission and you all in attendance. Everyone's nervous about it. We don't want to live for the next 2 or 3 years waiting to see what happens to this. So I respectfully disagree with taking a pause. I think that we should move forward as rapidly as we can. I have faith in you all. I do.
And we are, Julie.
I know. I have faith in you all. I think that the right decision will be made, but we don't want to wait 3 or 4 years worrying about it. Let's make the right decision as soon as possible. Thank you.
I think I promised that I wasn't going to say anything today, but I'm sorry. And I'm addressing you, but I would also like to address all of you. I am so proud to be a part of your community. I am so proud. And you all are doing the right thing. Every step, every sign, every flyer. But most of all, I believe that all of you are going to do the right thing. It may not seem like that right now because it's a process and it's difficult, but I believe in you. And I know this is going to work out in our favor.
My name is Amy Herring.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hello, my name is Greg Shea. I'm a 40-year resident of Shorewood and have 3 children in the high school as we speak. I did set up a school board about 25 years ago, and I used to be an electrician at NIPSCO a long time ago, 50 years. And one thing that never really got discussed here was the effect of electromagnetic radiation that is given off through the flow of electricity. Now, way back when they were talking about building Union Center New School, current bus parlors, I challenged them, and they decided to change pace. And the board at the time adopted the idea of remodeling Union Center. And I thought they did a fantastic job with it. Really did a good job. But the electromagnetic radiation has been identified by the United States Cancer Society that it can cause leukemia in children. Now, don't take my word for that. Go online and read it for yourself. Now, do these facilities put out electromagnetic radiation? I'm going to tell you. A 40 megawatt system, that's 40 million watts. Every time an electron flows through a wire, it produces electromagnetic field. Now, you don't have to take my word for it, but what I did last night, and I've done this before, is I took a 48-inch fluorescent light bulb
got out of my car and walked underneath the current tower that they just recently remodeled. And I did it right by the school. And it illuminates. It's not a tip, it's not a gas. Do it yourself. Just grab a 48-inch light bulb. Now, don't expect it to light up like these. But I'm saying it illuminates. It ionizes. I mean, I am in electromagnetic field. And I'm saying now you talk about something 50 times more powerful than that. Just a few. I mean, what are we talking? 200 yards, 300 yards away from our school? Why would we do that? Now, an interesting statistic is that the United States of America is roughly about 3.85 billion acres. 3.5 billion acres. So it's a pretty good place, pretty good sized place. So why would we select to place a data center that can cause all of the problems that everybody discussed here earlier, but then turn around and put it right on top of a school? I mean, it's like insane. It's like it's not even thought out. But there's one reason why they're trying to do that, is they want to get power off that power line. That's what it is. It's a location. It's a money grab. They need that power source. And I'm saying, like it was said a dozen times, remote, put it out in the cornfield. Some lady said something about I-65 with all the towers out there. Perfect place for it. But not by schools. And the center is just down the road. I'm going to say 600 feet. And those are real little children. So get a light bulb. Walk out underneath that. See if it doesn't illuminate. See if you now believe what I have to tell you, that this electromagnetic radiation is a big deal on a 40 megawatt, 400 million watts of energy. Just in spitting distance of the school. I have nothing else to say other than if you do agree that we probably should do that, you need to get a sign in your yard, in your neighbor's yard, and let everybody know what you think. Because without support from all of you, like you have, and the school board, and Mr. Hunter, the superintendent, this thing is going to go through. Because BlackRock is big money. And one more thing, now we're getting out of the way here, is that this morning at, I think it was about 5:30 in the morning, I have to get up here early, I see a commercial how AI needs to be broadened, and we need that to beat the other countries ahead of the game for whatever. I don't even argue with that, but not by our school. End of story. Please get those signs out. I don't know who handles the signs. Is there anybody in there handling the signs? There's a sign lady right there. Ask her, maybe give her your name and number. And I think there were $12 or $15 for the sign. Might be the best investment you ever made in your life. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for it is a benefit for us to hear from you. I think the other two commissioners will agree that over the last few days we've received dozens of emails that I think we all tried to answer as quickly as we can, as intelligently as we can. But I want to leave you with this: is that I think one of the ladies over here had mentioned that we, the commissioners, were all you have. I'm for what it's worth, I'm just going to tell you, that's why we're here. None of us ran for this office or elected, by a data center or data center owners. None of us own stock in a data center. None of us own property that the data center would like to buy. And I personally know no one who works in a data center. I know it's frustrating. I know a lot of it, because of it. A lot of it is based on your fear of what surrounds the health of this project to your community. It's not just the visual of it; it's the health, and that's a legitimate concern. And I think it's a concern of all three commissioners as well. But the process, allowing the process, is critically important. Allowing it to take place. That could be your property out there. It could be you in front of us next month asking us to determine whether or not you want a rezoning for whatever reason there may be. You don't want us saying, just cherry picking up here, saying, no, well, yes to you and no to you, and no, you get the process, you don't get the process. You do not want that out of your local government. Just leave here knowing this. All of us are, none of us are up here because of the pay. None of us. We're up here to represent our county. And we can't do that unless we're representing you. Give us that opportunity. Okay? All right, thank you.